welcome to Yin Yoga practice with me, Kumari Sky. Go ahead and gather whatever props you have and get ready for a super regulating and nourishing Yin session. I'll see you in the video. Spot here, and I'm going to ask you to find a comfortable position for yourself. I happen to be sitting on a nice firm little folded blanket, a firm pillow, your bolster. Some people like sitting on blocks. I should introduce myself if we've never met before. My name is Kumari Sky. I'm the Relaxationist, and tranquil yoga practices are part of my thing that I love. I also love sound baths and yoga nidra. Maybe you've experienced one of those with me. So tonight is, as you know, Yin Yoga. It's great if you have a bolster. It's great if you have a block or two and maybe some pillows or firmly folded blankets or beach towels. All of these things can serve as perfect props. And you can do Yin Yoga without props. We use the props to our advantage, and they help us really sink in to the pose, and our bodies feel supported when we use the props. And that way we're able to really go deep. And not necessarily deep physically, but that does happen. But deep in the sense of it turns into more of a meditative practice. And in this way, the nervous system becomes very stable and regulated, leaning more towards the parasympathetic response, which is rest, digest, restore, renew. All right. We are going to start out with an opening meditation. Hank's here. Hello. Welcome. Tonight we are going to be practicing Nadi Shodhana. This is alternate nostril breathing. Sometimes people will call it Nadi Sudhi, it also is called, but my tradition calls it Nadi Shodhana. Let me show you how we're going to do it. So you'll hold your hand up, bring down your your index finger and your middle finger. So all that's left up are 3 fingers. Everybody seeing that? Then you're going to bring it towards your face. Your arm gets cuddled in towards the body, and then you will cover the ring, and the pinky finger are going to cover, oh my gosh, your thumb is going to cover the right side. And then eventually, yes, your pinky and ring finger will cover a side. Okay. Let's just relax the hand for a minute. So that's the position. I'm going to give you another option. There's this position as well. If some people's hands don't do that, they get crampy for whatever reason, you could do it like this if you wanted to. Basically, this is a way to start the ball rolling of bringing everything into balance. This breath is like cleansing the energy of your brain. It balances the right and left hemispheres of the brain. And doing pranayama practices like this allows you to have 7 times more oxygen with each breath. Pretty cool. You'll also notice that it's very calming. This is a great breath. I actually really started to use this breath when I was dealing with having panic attacks and anxiety. it really, really helped me. I would do it for 5 minutes, 3 times a day, or whenever I started to feel anxious. It was so helpful. So we'll do that tonight for our opening meditation. First, reaffirm your seat. Make sure that you're actually comfortable and can keep sitting here. You can sit in a chair if you want to. Close down your eyes. We're going to start off with 3 full inhales and exhales. Breathing in through the nose. Blow this breath out through the mouth. Breathe in, fully expanding, and blow it out. Another. Perhaps even aware of the power of just 3 breaths. Bring your right arm and hand into position, however you want to hold your fingers. If you're a practicing person here that has a really stuffed up nose, just go through the motions and breathe through the mouth as you need to. Covering the right nostril with the thumb. Inhale through your left. Cover, exhale through your right. Inhale right. Cover, exhale left. That's 1 round. Let's do it again. Inhale left. Cover, exhale right. Inhale right. Cover, exhale left. Keep going. You might be hearing that I'm kind of moving through this. You might notice that as the practice goes on, your nose becomes clearer, but please know you can always take a break if you need to. Intend to keep your breath smooth and steady and quiet. There should be no strain here. And then the next time you exhale out your left nostril, that will be the final exhale. Return your hand to your lap and we'll pause here. Moving your head and neck in whatever way feels nice. Really taking in how you're feeling, noticing if anything's changed since you first sat down to practice. Coming back to center with the head, inhaling, lifting the arms up overhead, touching the palms, and then bringing the hands in front of the face, starting to rub the palms, creating some heat and covering the eyes. And begin to massage your temple, maybe over the eyebrows, under the eyes, around the ears, the jaw. Take your index finger and your middle finger so you're making, can you see that? Little, yeah, there you go. These are going to go on either side of your ear. Close down your eyes again. Rub up and down behind the ear and in front of the ear. Couple more times. And opening your eyes again. All right, are you ready to stretch your legs out a little bit? Maybe just bumping them around or doing some windshield wipers. We'll start the session out with caterpillar pose. This is a seated forward bend. I'm going to give you the side view. Sit up on something. Here, I'm going to show you in case you've never done this before. So I'm up on this thing. See how it's like already like tilting me forward versus like if I'm on the floor, then I'm more like rounding the back. This just helps tilt the pelvis forward, and that's the way you're going. All right, without any props, it's this. If you have props, use them. One of my faves is putting the blocks here and coming down, supporting my head. I might let my head hang here and there as well. Another great way to practice caterpillar is something under your knees. And if you don't have a bolster, you'll use a pillow or towel or something, blanket. That can be really nice. Take a moment to find out what works best for you. There's no certain way that anything has to be done in Yin Yoga. Allow yourself to arrive here. Practice in such a way that your breath stays smooth and even, easy, peaceful. In Yin Yoga, we always have a target area. Our target area, and this one is the whole spine. If your back feels okay with it, allow yourself to really round here as much as you can. For those that have really sensitive backs or are actually dealing with something acute right now, I don't recommend rounding. I recommend just trying to stay forward and then maybe letting the head hang. Some people might be feeling a hamstrings stretch. Remember that Yin is a practice of learning the art of surrender. Not only are we surrendering physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Mentally, just letting go of any expectations or beliefs about how you need to do this practice or whatever might come. And emotionally, this practice can really help us let go. And we don't even necessarily have to name what we're letting go of. What we can trust, what no longer serves us, is going to release. Remember to keep coming back to your breath. We're going to stay another minute here. Begin to take a few deeper breaths. This is a way we can signal the nervous system that we're moving. Come on up. You might just pause or lean back into your hands. Always, when we finish up a shape, you can move however you would like to. Something that I was feeling like doing now is a reverse tabletop. Pushing the hips upright. Maybe some windshield wipers. It's also always fine to lay down after every pose. If you're craving an even more spacious practice, take a little mini shavasana. Next up, we are going to do supported bridge. Again, there's a lot of ways this can happen. One way, this is how I'm going to do it, laying on a really firm bolster. Another would be to lay on a block, and if that feels too hard, put a blanket over it. If you don't have either one of those, figure out something that can be folded up. Like I made like a little bolster here, and that will hold the hips up. Take time to be sure that your pelvis is completely supported. It's totally fine to keep the legs just like this. But you can also extend your legs out. You can also bring your arms overhead. Just discover, be curious about what would be best for you tonight. In case there's someone on here that isn't aware, Yin is a practice that we are avoiding pain. Really, any yoga you do, please avoid pain. I think we're moving past that no pain, no gain mentality, but I'm doing my due diligence. I want to make sure everyone's safe. This one, it's very possible you'll feel a little squeeziness in your lower back, but really this pose is all about opening the front side of the body. Even if you have your legs bent, that's still happening. Everyone will practice with their own body, and your job is to listen and respect your body's wishes. Yin is beneficial if we're feeling like a 3 on a 10-point scale. It's also super beneficial if we're feeling an 8 or a 9. My teacher teaches us that we're just kind of going for the middle ground. Well, hello, sir. Hi, are you going to be out here with us tonight? Anyways, so Yin is a practice of sensation. If I wasn't going to have a name like Yin, I would just call it deep stretch. And honestly, I wish they did, because I feel like Yin is a little confusing. People always think it's Chinese. I'm going to stay a little bit longer with this one. I'm going to not talk here and just let you marinate. All right, go ahead and take a few deep breaths. Feel your belly and your rib cage expand. As you're ready, if you've had your legs out long, bend them. And if you're up for it, take your knees up towards your chest now. You might give yourself a little hug. I think it feels really good if you happen to be on the edge of a cork block or even a foam one. It's like a little side to side. Good. Go ahead and set your feet down. Lift the hips and pull away or push away or prop. Hello, Mr. Purr Machine. All right, next up, we are going to work in the hips. So meet me upright. I'm going to give you two choices here because not everyone's hips love this pose. Again, sit up on something. We're going to do square. So square is a crossed leg. Check this out. See how I'm pulling my legs in? Like this is kind of what we think of when we're sitting cross-legged. Square pose. Milo, why don't you come over here, buddy? Square pose is when we pull the legs away. And see how I kept my heels and my knees? And then I have space. And then I'm going to lean forward. And this is where most likely the point of the pose is to feel something in the hip and the leg that's in the front. Okay? So it would look like this. You could use props to come down on. Maybe you come down really far. If this is not working for you, I'm going to suggest do 90-90. So you would take your top leg and just bring it around like this. So the front leg is still parallel to the top of your mat. Then you're leaning forward. They're the same but different. In Yin Yoga, we call them the archetypes. There's a lot of different poses, well, not a lot, but like 4 different poses that can really get this general area where we're trying to feel. This is in the glutes, the thigh area, the lower back. So figure out which one gives you the sensation you like. Now the hip ones can tend to be pretty sensational. So watch that. If you're doing the square one, I think it feels really good to sway a little bit from side to side. Are you doing some yoga? Good job, Milo. Good job. Yeah. Come over here so they can see you because you're so cute. Is anybody else's animal practicing? Let me know in the comments. Holding and breathing. I happen to just be holding my head up. You can let your head hang again if you like. listening if your body sends signals to go deeper or let up a bit. All right, go ahead and start to make your way up. Whatever version you did, take a little time here to unwind from that. Now, if you did the square one, just like if you did 90-90, you'll bring your other leg in front so you can work on the other hip. And easing into it. As I mentioned before, I really like bringing a little bit of movement in. Relaxing down. So the fascia, and this is the tissue that we're primarily working with in Yin Yoga. It's that connective tissue that is everywhere in your whole body. It's so much more than a connective tissue. It is like a body stocking. It's what gives you your form, and it's where your physical body originated from. And once you're, started making tissue, and it's very, very tied to the nervous system. For instance, when you stub your toe, you think maybe, oh, it's my brain that says, ow, that hurts. No, it's your fascia. It is your fascia that sends the signal lightning speed to the brain. My teacher, Joanne Avison, has talked about how connective tissue, or fascia, namely, is starting to be recognized as the largest sensory organ. Now, that has not been scientifically validated because there hasn't been enough research yet. Fascia in the past was just tossed to the side when dissections were happening and thought that it was a nothing tissue. But more and more researchers are learning what an integral tissue it really, really is. And it's just fascinating hearing all the different scientists talk about it. And it really verges into quantum biomechanics. And that fascia is also being called a tissue of consciousness, that these electrical signals that run through the fascia everywhere all the time at lightning speed, this could be a key to understanding our consciousness at a higher level. All right, let's go ahead and press away from this shape. Again, take some time to come back and come out of the shape. Ooh, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but some cracky joints. And all of this popping or sensation, or maybe a sense of warmth or openness, whatever you feel, maybe even a sense of everything feeling very rigid when you come out, all of this is natural and due to the practice. In essence, we're deforming our tissues, and when we come out and the minutes that follow, everything's reforming. And that's why, again, we want to take things really slow and stay really, really mindful. And this deforming of the tissues is really the magic ingredient of the practice, because all tissues thrive when they have stress. And I'm not talking negative stress. I'm talking using stress. Like you might have heard, one of the best ways to prevent osteoporosis is that action of coming down and like putting pressure on your bones. Okay, next up we are going to do the twisted deer. I like this one with a bolster. Hello there, Milo. And a block. You can absolutely do this on a pile of pillows or a folded blanket or something. And what you're going to do is bring your leg this way. So like that 90-90 position, sometimes that's called deer. I just call it 90-90 to just keep it different than this one. But this one we're twisting. So now I have my hands on either side of the bolster, and my intention is to lay my chest down flat on this bolster. And then I'll decide which way turning my head feels most comfortable. And then you can, if you want to, it's not a have to, you're going to reach your arm. You don't have to keep your legs separated like this. It can come in, or even sometimes I see people doing it stacked. And the point of this one, where we want to feel our edge, is the side body. Okay. I'm not going to do this one because it squishes my microphone a lot. So by now you've probably gotten settled in. And if your eyes aren't closed, consider just letting them softly shut and draw your attention inside. Feeling the rise and fall of your breath as you hold the pose. Notice what happens if you expand your breath just a little bit. Take a little bit of a deeper breath these next few times. Allowing your body to expand and open in all directions. Keeping in mind there's varying degrees of sensation, and if you can keep adjusting, you might discover that you can go a little deeper or change your legs, and that might bring a little more sensation. Be here a little less than a minute. Now, before we come out, why don't you take a few more deep breaths, just getting that feeling again of your body expanding, your skin stretching. Good. Come on up and away from the shape. If you'd like to, just switch sides or bring a little movement, your choice. Just feeling this yummy side stretch and subtle little twist. Just do whatever you want or need to do in order to feel it. Once you're fully settled, take a few deep breaths. Let each exhale carry you into an even greater sense of release. Remembering to always come back to the flow of your breath. Got about another minute here. All right, so as you're ready, coming on up, might feel good to take some back stroking. We are going to do child's pose now. My little child is posed here. All right. Discover what way child's pose feels best in your body. Again, maybe a bolster, maybe not. Tonight, I'm going to put a block under mine to elevate it. In case you've never heard this alternative before, you can do surfboard if you have a bolster or something firm, and that's just laying on it. Kind of the same, but different. It just is really nice if your knees aren't excited about child's pose. I'll let you know when we're halfway through, in case you're doing it with the head turned to one side. Just feeling that pressure on the big joints, the hips, the knees, the ankles. Letting yourself go. The earth is receiving you. Now, if you want to turn your head, you're always welcome to make any other adjustments. Breathing, melting into your child's pose. Drooling is completely normal. The whole spine unwinding with child's pose. So gentle elongation, but also the body moves laterally as well. There's space on top of the rib cage. Your organs of digestion and reproduction are deeply nourished with child's pose. And picking one more breath in. Pushing up and away. How about some cat and cows? Maybe a downward dog. Stretching your legs, just doing whatever you feel like doing. And then getting set up for Shavasana. And tonight I got a new instrument and I want to play it for you during Shavasana. You might like something under your knees, something under the head. A blanket can be nice. Shavasana is a really important pose. This is where we integrate. This is when the tissues have that stillness to just reform and expand into an even better version of themselves. All the cascade of cellular energy, of hormones. An opportunity to really allow this buildup of resilience. So if you haven't already, close down your eyes. We'll take a cleansing breath. Inhale through your nose. And sigh it out. Let's do another one. Shavasana. of your breath. Feeling the motion, the energy of your breathing. Now returning to the awareness of your body. Moving around your fingers and your toes. Taking in this state of peace and relaxation you've cultivated through this practice. Maybe these little movements become bigger. Of course, you're welcome to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. If you're ready to move on with your next activity of your day or night, you might roll over to your side. Taking a few more deep breaths. Maybe you're already sitting up, but if you'd like to join and you're not sitting up, we can close out our time together. Let's bring our hands in front of our hearts. And with this intention, this gesture, we remember we are all one, practicing, nourishing ourselves so we can show up and be the best humans we can be as much as we can. Let's take a collective breath. Wishing everyone all the best. Thank you for sharing your practice with me tonight. Namaste. Well, thank you so much for joining this session. I'd love to know how you're feeling right about now. So leave me a comment or a thumbs up, and I will look forward to sharing the next session with you. Thanks so much, and have a good one.